Okay, can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, these things are like all over the ground. These always take me back to like the 1985 Legend of Zelda series. You know, when he had like the spiky bombs. It was cool too. He had this like pouch, and he would like draw them out. They would start out this size, but then they would grow this size. Yeah, nostalgia. Hello, internet. Back out at the lake. It's looking a little brown today. I know we've been doing happiness this whole time, and I technically I officially put a end to the whole self-awareness thing, but we're going to backtrack. I can do that. I'm the producer here. But there's a reason. See, I'm like paying to be in this group. It's like a coaching program or something. And we recently had, a meeting. And, the guy in charge started talking about this thing. Camera guy had to be a little fancy there. So, yeah, the coach, the guy in charge, I feel weird calling him a coach. It's really more of a mentor than anything else. But, getting to the point eventually. The topic for the meeting was this podcast by Seth Godin. I will try to find a link to it and put it in the description, but YouTube is not being favorable. So I might have to go off YouTube. Yeah, we're going off path a little bit there. But the point of the podcast and the point of the meeting that we had about it was, are you a freelancer or an entrepreneur? And yeah, this is like a self-awareness thing. And the guy in charge of the group, he also threw in laborer. Let's go that way. So we haven't been that way in a while. So we got laborer, freelancer, or entrepreneur. And he had this meeting because, he decided to talk about this because, we're in this age of the internet where it's being an entrepreneur is, sexy and it's buzzy and, everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, but down at your DNA level, you might not be. And trying to be something that you're not, that's like a recipe for misery. So this is kind of associated with happiness. By the way, self-awareness and happiness, they go together. But to kind of sum up, what the meeting was about, and what I got from it, the laborer. By the way, the school system teaches us or trains us to be laborers, and keep that in mind. But the laborer is I want to get paid to go do a thing, and then you punch a clock, do a thing, punch out, then I have my time, and I can do whatever I want. Call of Duty and Mountain Dew or something. And okay, yeah, it's this is an example. Other people do movies, other people do family time. It's like I get paid for this time, and then this is my time. That's the laborer, and they want nothing beyond that. But here's the thing: if you're not a laborer, and by the way, I am not a laborer. It is, and yeah, there's water behind you, so be careful. And that's also a concrete pipe, so if you fall, you could crack your skull. That would not be good. But the thing is, the school system trains us to be laborers because it's thousands of years ago, everybody needed to be a laborer, just so things would get done. So people would have shoes and clothes, houses and beds and food. Everybody needed to be a laborer. But the thing is, if you're not a laborer down at your DNA level, and that's me, I am so not a laborer. I need more than, get paid for this time and then Call of Duty and Mountain Dew. I need more than that. And yeah, the trail ends right there. If we go any farther in this direction, we will need scuba gear. But the point that I'm trying to get to is if you're not a laborer at your DNA level and you try to be a laborer, misery. And I think that's where a lot of people are today is, they're trying to be a laborer because, that's what the school system, that's what society has trained them to do. But deep down at the DNA level, they need more. And that's where the freelancer and the entrepreneur come in. And I'll be honest, I'm still having difficulty like distinguishing them. The major difference that I can see is the freelancer is kind of like a laborer, but I want to do a thing. I want to throw myself into a project. Yeah, you're moving a little far away. I'll sound like I'm in a cave from that far away. But the freelancer's like, I want to throw myself into a project and like be in control. The freelancer wants to be in control of their time and get paid for completing a project. Whereas the laborer wants to, just be paid for, contributing time. Which may eventually complete a project. That's the distinction there. The entrepreneur, on the other hand, they want to build this, like, entity that is bigger than, business. Entity that is bigger than they are, that eventually becomes self-sustaining. Like, the laborer, let's face it, the laborer doesn't get a vacation. The freelancer, if the freelancer takes like 4 months off, that's 4 months that the project isn't getting done, and that's 4 months of not getting paid. The entrepreneur, like, Jeff Bezos or Mark Zuckerberg, they could take a 4-month vacation off in the Bahamas and, Amazon, Facebook, still doing fine. They're still getting paid. They're getting paid to lounge around. That's the entrepreneur. And really, that's not every day in the life of an entrepreneur. That's kind of, it's a vacation, basically. But, this is something that I've been kind of really, really thinking about, which probably means it's kind of important. I mean, considering that my mentor is saying, hey, meditate on this, figure out who you are, I'm going to say it's important. So, considering it's important, I thought I would pass it on to the rest of you guys. While just wandering around out in nature, and yeah, I know we're walking on asphalt, so it's not entirely nature. I mean, it's a park. A park is like urbanized nature, kind of. If that makes any sense. I think it makes sense. I mean, asphalt, that's urban. Trees, that's nature. Urban nature. At this point, I'm kind of rambling, which means it's probably a good time to end the video, and the trail is ending. Well, it's not ending, it's going that way. But it gets very muddy, and then there's a swamp with an empty Gatorade bottle, half empty. City Park. It's turning into a catchphrase. There's trash on the ground. It's a city park. B-roll kind of thing. Little bomb. Kaboom!